This is a story on doubt, paralyzing fear, evolution, and ascension. If this is the first time you call me live or on a video, my name is Marga, and in sharing this very vulnerable part of the journey, I decided to share this personal and very vulnerable part of the journey with you because of the many gifts that brought to me, and because as a person that leads a movement of mission zones on earth, I know that these are the type of conversations that happen behind closed doors that are important to bring to our collective for the purpose of keep expanding the awareness and the magic of the work that we truly are doing at the deepest level in humanity. And my prayer is to be able to share this story in the best way possible. So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this video. And let's go. This past week, I found myself experiencing the type of body paralysis that clouds my mind, that was clouding my mind and was stopping me from taking action, from showing up. And when things happen like this, when something like this happens, I know at a subconscious deep level, there's of course so much more. But I had my blind spots. I was in my human, in the raw experience of it all, just feeling the emotions stuck in the body. And it was hard to approach it from a different angle. For those of you who don't know me, I have been on a path of deep subconscious deprogramming, evolution, and ascension by the hand of very gifted trans channelers and channels over the last 6 years. And so I am also a quantum practitioner. I am also a soul mission channel and oracle. And I also facilitate this level of deep quantum healing for others. And so I share that with you because it's been a while of doing, it's like the work never ends. Like, let's face it, that is just how it goes. But it is not that, we have a shadow and that outdated paradigm. For me, at this stage of the journey, it is like the understanding and the awareness that at each step of the game, as a soul who gave their sacred yes to reclaim your multidimensionality, reclaim your gifts that you have accumulated on other past lifetimes in ancient civilization, as a soul who is not here to bypass their human experience. Every time something bubbles up, and something comes up to the surface for us, it is collective grid work, what is going on. And every time we do the work, we indeed do the liberation work for those who are connected with us through the blood, those who are connected with us through morphogenetic field, and humanity as a whole. And we plant more light. I recently did something that I had never done before. I opened up the pre-launch, starting opening up the doors to my most advanced body of work in the form of a mystery school. This one is called the Soul Mission Destiny Mystery School. And I am no foreign of receiving very high cash months and having very high cash days, like 5K, 6K day, 13K day on my journey, but more as a consultant, more as a service provider, more as a coach and one-on-one mentor. And I have facilitated programs, group programs with success and brought in souls, but this one is different. This one is the first time it's going to be this ascension grid where, yes, it's about strategy, yes, it's about growing your mission in the online space, growing a mission brand movement, but through the ascension on that also happens by embodying more of our soul light and becoming the version of us that really can hold that with mastery. And so different price point, different messaging. It's the accumulation of the work I have done for over 10 years. And then over the last 6 and 4 years as a ascension guide, and putting it into creating a grid, a very high frequency grid of light offering, temple of light offering. And so there I am, and this happened mostly last week, and between last week and this week. And I'm feeling, I don't know what to post. Oh my God, this is not good enough. I need to go and find it. I deep down, when my awareness and what my consciousness and my mental field was thinking, and the feelings that were triggered, and this is why this is vulnerable, because this is what I do with others, but this is the only way I can really get to the core of this message and story. What I was thinking was, I'm not embodied enough. I need to go and find this piece. I need to go and rewatch that transmission. I need to go and revisit this thing, and I need to go and master better this strategy. I am not ready. This is not enough. This is not enough. I'm gonna get it wrong. And that was the paralyzing stuff. Like what I was experiencing in my body was something here in front of my solar plexus, in front of my personal power, that was keeping me stuck. And here is where the power of mentorship comes into this story. Hi, Rita. So good to see you, Angel. Here's where the power of having a mentor that is an ascension mentor and it's a highly advanced energy practitioner comes in. And this is just part of this story. I jump on Monday on a group quantum coaching call with one of my mentors. And what was so crazy is that hours leading up to the call, this feeling was horrible, was exacerbating, was coming up to the surface in ways that felt nasty. The doubt, the paralyzing fear, the blame even, some shame also. And I was feeling like I even thought that I shouldn't be on that call, that I shouldn't bring this low vibrational stuff even for a split second. That crossed my mind, even though you're there to be holding a high frequency grid. And I just found it like so crazy that just before this call, everything just blew up. And I found myself like crying in the bed, not wanting to join the call, but I end up joining the call. When I join the call and I am able to start releasing what I feel and sharing what I feel, with a mentor that also has this higher realm embodiment of templates of light. There are two things that she picked up. Number one is, this is highly related to a program on perfectionism. And I say yes to that because, I mean, what is perfectionism? Perfectionism is a mind program that keeps you stuck. And because you keep stuck, it keeps you safe. It's a subconscious program. And then the second thing that she picked up is that this is linked to my inner child. And of course, as all of us, I've done a fair bit of work on inner child. But yet again, this is not about, oh my God, like this is not an ego thing. It's not like, oh, because something resurfaces, I don't know, that means anything about us. Just like we wouldn't make a client think that it has anything to do with their value or anything. It's actually normal that on our path of evolution and ascension, just more things come up for us to be able to bring up light. Because, guys, my beautiful souls, there are things that in this time and age, 2025, are not coming with us to the next stage of the journey. The illusions, the holograms that parts of our consciousness create are not meant to come with us. We are to bring pure love, to bring pure light, and to bring pure abundance. When we are to share our revolutionary channeled work as ascension guides and mission souls for Gaia. So she picks up on these things. She coaches my mind on certain other aspects like, Marga, yes, you've been doing this for 10 years, but you only opened up. And yes, you have been preparing at a physical action level to launch the mystery school. And yes, it's been like 2 years that you have been becoming the version of you that has the embodiment to open up these sacred doors. But the race only starts when it starts. The race only starts, she says, when you are, not when you are preparing for the marathon, but when you are running, when the race starts, when the clock goes go, right? Like it's like this with this with this movement. And so it's a newborn. It's a new way. And give me a yes in the comments if you know what I mean when I say that when you are a channel of high frequency work, your work is going to initiate you. The journey of being able to share these libraries of light and codes of light take you on a little bit of a journey of an initiation. Well, and that, of course, some of the things that you end up going through are things that then you are going to support clients in their own beautiful journeys. And so I know that all of this, I know at a very subconscious level, that all of this fear, that all of this doubt, that all of this paralyzing, like feeling in my body, it's like a somatic experience, is here because it's a new level of claiming my role on this planet and back my work and claiming my work and claiming my soul gifts. And so I was grateful, I can tell you that much, that day I cried like the whole call. Before the call, I was crying. I took my camera off And I was crying while other people went first. And by the time it was my turn, I was just like crying my eyes out, feeling the human, feeling the little child. And so she, like she makes me see, this thing of Marga, like this is a time of your life that is not going to repeat. This is a time of your life that you're always going to remember. This is the first time that you open up the doors to your beautiful mystery school that is here to stay. And you have 10 more years to bring this work forward and to receive souls and to improve whatever. And it's like there is a journey ahead. And so at that moment, I was so grateful. I felt so grateful for the reminder. And yet, the true work hadn't been done yet. She said, I can sense in your inner child that it's like deeply related to this programming on perfectionism. It's like the thing here. And I can sense your father. I can also sense your mother, but it's more so your father. And you know what we do, she said, when we're little kids, when we go through situations where we felt that we needed to be a certain way to be loved, or when we needed to be a certain way to be enough, or to appease someone, or whatever it is. Our inner child creates some contracts right there, and they ripple out later on in our life and bubble up in different ways. And yes, right? And so she gave me the homework of doing this inner work, and that is the next huge part of what I want to share with you. And before I go into share what happened after, I want to share that something else that she shared with me that is related to how pretty much all of this relates to 2025 being a year of lots and lots of light. Because light, and as you know, what light does is brings up like this frequency of light on planet Earth on this year, makes certain things that you could have potentially got away with 2 years ago, puts them in your face. And it's she described it to me as it's like a city of Atlantis, like in the movies where you see this city emerging from the waters and boom, and it's like, we all have this year our own city of Atlantis. So for me, this was it. For you, maybe it's something different. There are things that are coming up to the surface that we can no longer make a blind eye and look up to the side. It's in our face, and it's for us to evolve, ascend, and bring even more light. And so this is the work. This is the actual work. This is the part that made me want to go live also, because we do not have business. I do not have a business. My soul chose to reclaim her multidimensionality, reclaim gifts from other lifetimes, step into the biggest atoms of my embodiment as a mission queen, as a mission soul of the light, as my mission self. Not to create a business, but to birth a mission of light. And yes, that mission expresses in many different ways, as we are going to also explore in this life. Every time you do the deep inner work, the deep grit work, oof, boy, is that one of the levels of the mission. And there are others that relate to, I open up the doors to my temples of light where I can receive humans to be of service for them. And so that's the one that looks more like a business because there is a money exchange. But make no mistakes. No mistake that as mission souls, we don't evolve to these levels just for the sake of profit and be stuck in shitty business paradigms. And this is the unseen work. This is the part that only us who are in this field see. And of course, this is part of what I help my close proximity souls that trust in me as their mentor and guide. Because it is who you become, what is expanding the mission at the end of it, like at the core of it. It is about that. And so, of course, I am also going through these initiations and doing the do's as a mission soul on an ascension path. And so now I want to enter part 2 of the story. I sit down this morning knowing that my work indeed is to do that inner child work. And this part of the story is a more multidimensional part of the story. And so I'm calling in beautiful other aspects of me and even more codes of light to share this story with you. I sit down and I start to trace in my story. I have taken other people and I have taken myself. I hold codes of mastery on tracing back and tracing versions of me within my timelines that relate to whatever it is that I am experiencing in the moment. And so this is quantum healing, timeline therapy. You can call it like so many ways. I've done this with other clients. I've done this with myself. And so I have the confidence that I can do this for myself and take myself on this journey and this healing. And I start tracing versions of me. And sure enough, like I start feeling a council of versions of me. And when I am feeling this multitude of avatars, of versions of me in other lifetimes, there is one in particular that starts like coming to the front. And as she comes to the front, I can sense her sadness. I can sense her sense of deep disappointment. I can sense her fear. I can sense that paralyzing, excruciating fear within herself. And as this version is here, I start getting glimpses of what would happen. And sure enough, it had to do with a male figure in her life. And with moments of violence and being hurt, physically and psychologically hurt from the other person's dysregulation, the other person's violence. And all of this had like this same blueprint that I was experiencing in my body last week of the deep doubt, the deep fear. And remember what I told you at the beginning, that my mind was falling into these thought patterns of, I need to go and find this because this is not enough, this is not good enough, this is not good enough. Well, guess what the main signature information code and frequency was within this version that is now in sacred space, and I'm tuning into. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. Then, as I am able to, as I receive the imprint and the blueprint, I open up the wings in front of my body, and I call in even more light. And I am already surrounded by Archangel Michael, Archangel Sandalphon, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Uriel, Archangel Metatron, Mother Mary, Hathor, Isis, my Blue Avian family, Andromedan aspects, my Arcturian friends, and also Pleiadians, my Pleiadian family. And so in this field of light, I'm able to receive the information from this version, love upon her, and the journey continues. I now summoned my little child, my little Marga, Ana Margarita. My full name is Ana Margarita. And I bring her. And she was about 7, 8 years old, this version of me. And I have full awareness of things that happened around that time. And there is a reason and a purpose I'm sharing about this that I'm going to reveal in a moment. Back at the day, early in the morning, when my dad needed to leave for work, very so often it'll happen that he would lose his wallet. And then he would get angry. He's a great man and I love him deeply. But he would get angry and he would yell and call in my mom and ask where the F word was the wallet. Back then, what would happen is that the minute I would hear the raising of the voice and feel the anger and feel the male figure losing it, I just made it a point, go fucking run right now and find the wallet. And sure enough, more often than not, I would find the wallet, I would bring it to him, and I would say a nonsensical sentence that I would always say that makes no sense. And if I was to repeat it to you, it makes no sense. But I would tell my dad this thing after giving him his wallet, just for him to, just to invite some cuteness, love, sweetness, and to try to bring his energy down. And it would work every time. Mission accomplished, and off I went, and off he went. And so the reason why I shared this with you is because one of the things that came up as I am able to see the full picture is how this was deeply related, and how my inner child was taking on the mission in those moments of protecting the woman, in this case my mom. I mean, it's not that my dad was violent or anything like that, like in a sense, like physically, no. But my little Marga would feel it this way somehow. So in protection to the woman and in protection of the circumstance and appeasing of things, I would be the hero of that situation. And so one of the things that came up is that at a very subconscious, multidimensional level, at a level where you are now, in your DNA, in your ancestral and quantum DNA, you are connected to alternate versions of you. My little child already was programmed to behave this way, because what I share with you about that version of me that I saw, how it works in a multidimensional field, because everything is happening in the quantum space simultaneously, is I am that version, while I am this version, while I am that inner child, and I am the ET versions of me, and I am dragon versions, like all of that is happening simultaneously. And so my little child was already coded and programmed for this via quantum entanglement. And what was so interesting, and I want to share this note with you, is that this my little girl was doing all of that, appeasing the dysregulated in the moment person, and saving the situation, and being the protector of the woman, and bringing the animosity down, and doing this of running and finding the wallet and everything, so it would be enough. So it would be enough. So it would be enough of the yelling, of the feeling, of the very gut feeling that rage would trigger. But so notice the words. Being enough. So it was enough. And so what did I tell you before? The alternate version was not enough. And I was doing that, so it was enough. But enough as cut it. Let's end this now. Arisiti Ana, Huti Ana, Ana. That is light language. If you've never heard light language, many of you have. But if you're watching this, because I'm gonna place this video everywhere, that's called light language. It's not English or Spanish, because it's not. It's codes of light to harmonize the field. And so I bring both versions, and I shower them with light. I bring in the light of my soul. I help them feel the vastness, eternity of our being and our essence. And remember that we are souls that are whole and untouched, that cannot be transgression, that can truly touch us. And as the field fully harmonizes in light, I am now ready to tap into what is the greatest gift of this all. And so the first thing I ask my soul and my council of higher selves, what is the gift here? What soul, what was the gift from all of this? And the first gift that comes up is, let me see, because I wrote everything, was to develop a defense mechanism. Because in order for different versions of me, these two versions of me, to survive or to operate, they needed this defense mechanism. If you are a person who knows about nervous system and nervous system regulation, you will know a little bit about this language, but a defense mechanism is something that develops to be able to, when we feel a threat, or our amygdala feels like a threat, or parts of our brain, and so the amygdala triggers a sense of, oh, this is defense time, this is fists up, And you need to do what you need to do in order to survive. Right? And so the first gift was a defense mechanism. And that defense mechanism could have been helpful for that little girl and could have been helpful for that alternate version of me. But for this version of myself, having a defense mechanism of getting into frozen mode, freeze mode, freeze, because that's what I was experiencing in my body last week. Going into freeze mode, it's not of benefit. When I feel that, when parts of me feel that there is not enough, or something is not enough, which we are freaking going to talk about this, but in a moment, but when parts of me, of my consciousness and my or subconscious awareness would feel like something is not enough, as a freaking woman that is here on a huge, beautiful, monumental mission, leading a movement of humans, this doesn't serve me. I cannot link. I don't know something. I don't know a specific frame on how to say this specific part for this specific phase of the launch. I cannot trigger that to it's not enough, or I am not enough. Or I cannot have linked that to any emotional response, period. Because it is being a self-regulated human from within what truly allows us to keep growing and have a more mature understanding of mission business. And so that doesn't serve me. But so the first thing I want to say, and that's what I wanted to say. But so the thing here also is that the main message from the second part of the story, which we're about to go into the third one and last, it's that, well, then what was the next greater gift that I received? I can tell you right now that the next gift that I received was to bring awareness into my consciousness, bring the conscious awareness of the aspects of me, of how I needed to close down a co-creation with alternate versions of me and aspects of me that were playing a role in how I was being able to operate or unable to operate in my mission. Qué gran regalo. And that was Spanish. That means, what a great gift. Gracias, Dios. Gracias, Marga. Gracias, Sofía. Sofía, Dios. Thank you. And then, because this doesn't get to travel and continue with me now from this point forward. And now the last part to this story. It is a part that relates with grid work. It is a part that opens up the libraries of what really happens at a multidimensional level in the templates and in the grids of ascension, when we courageously take the ascension journey of bringing light into aspects of us and versions of us for the purpose of ascending them and harmonize them and unify them in love, in light and abundance. My soul holds freaking badassery when it comes to great work. Which is so funny to say, and it's so funny to even say it like this, because I kid you not so long ago, I thought my gifts were not even that special. But it is not about being special, my angel. It is about owning we are pieces of a greater puzzle. And so I want to share with you what happened after that ceremony, in the next phase of the ceremony that unfolded when I went to do this work. And so my light language kicks in. And I start harmonizing my oversoul and bringing even more light. Something my beautiful mentor told me during that call was that, because of course she's gifted, I love her so much. She said, she gave me the even greater picture that I also wanted to bring to this life, because guys, this is so beautiful, so expansive for us to keep in mind and remember. And she gave me this older piece to this dynamic by saying, and when you do this work on this version of you, you are going to be doing a massive grid work in Costa Rica, in your civilization, in the civilizations that are linked and entangled somehow with you through your blood. Because of course there were parts of me that would actually, like as I share with you, like before the call, I was even almost going into victim mindset. Oh, I'm the victim of all of this. Oh, I have been with this mentor for how many years and I am still blah, 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 blah. As if everything in the last 2 years or in the last years had been shitty. That's very far away from the truth. And so my inner Latin drama queen, and we all have one, like versions of us that are a little bit like, they can selectively delete stuff to validate the story that serves your smallness, basically, was already like wanting to follow into those patterns and those thoughts and victimhood and everything I mentioned, and validate smallness. And so what my mentor said was, and when you do this work, you are going to be able to decode it and do massive grid work through your bloodlines. And this is exactly what happened. So there I was in this ceremony with parts of myself, and my light language kicks in. And as the light language is kicking in, I can sense a beautiful friend I know so well coming now to co-create with me. This is Mother Gaia in her form as goddess of life and abundance. The next versions that come up are my Andromedan versions, but it's like Andromedan Gaia versions. Andromedan Gaia dragons as well. Boom. They flow in. And I can feel the spirit of Latin America, the Greeks of Latin America, wanting to like opening up in receptivity for what was about to unfold. So I asked permission to Mother Gaia, to the Greeks of Latin America, to the goddesses, Gaia mystique goddesses of Costa Rica, as well as, I am in Mexico right now, you guys, as well as the ancient spirits of this precious, powerful land of Mexico, to perform a deep grid work and decoding. And I feel the yes. I feel the unified field. I summoned versions of me, Sophia dragons also. And it was like, massive, massive, massive light upgrades through light language on this grid in Mexico, on the grid of Latin America, on the grid in Costa Rica. For my people, and for the energy that holds this abundant light, abundant lands, to anchor even more divine light, divine love, divine abundance. And the ripple effect is massive. I can sense myself shape-shifting into different versions of me, and towards the end, shape-shifting into this ginormous dragon. And like feel the tail, feel the claws in the earth, feel the roaring, feel full liberation, full codes of Rasitiana, for more of us, more of my people, more of us, to release what is not a match to the abundance, light, and love that truly resides in these lands. For more of my people, and myself included, to be able to gain this maturity around the things that happen. So instead of becoming victims of them, we're able to see and keep climbing our evolution levels and realize all of this is happening for us. It is us becoming better at what we do. It is not that we are not enough, because that's a program deeply ingrained also in these lands. Most of you see me from the States, very modern cities on Asia, like Singapore or Tokyo, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. I don't know if I said the States. It is so common to have a mindset for life in your countries, but in my country and in these countries, it's very different. And it's the whole, becoming better, becoming professional. In these lands, it is more common that you link not being good enough at something as not being enough as a person. And you tell me how much you can receive, charge, or value yourself when your blood conditions you to not enough, not enoughness. It's a false matrix program. It's an artificial program that was planted here many eons ago. And through the slavery and through the raids and sacking, I don't know if that's how you say, basically the robbery and how they took away all of our gold, turned people into slaves, all of those realities. There's shit. There are grids of shit, shitty programs and shitty shit. And so, my beautiful ones, if you are watching this video still, let me tell you, I freaking love you. I freaking love you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here on this video with me. I needed to take time and space to share what happened today. Because the truth of the matter for a mission soul of the light is that we do not gain awareness of our lives in ancient civilizations for the purpose of being more cool Or we don't know, we don't bring awareness that we have been an Andromedan, Arcturian, Lyran versions of us, humanoid versions of us with feline faces, dragon versions of us, to, oh my God, right? Like kind of like, oh my God, like when you have like that stickers album and it's like, oh, were you also an Andromeda? Oh my God, I was also an... that is how you feel. Let's face it. It is cool as shit to realize how multidimensional you are and get to know the lifetimes that you had across the universe. But why did you have those lives? Why did we have those lives? And why are we remembered now in 2025? Is because we are meant to be here on earth. Like with this knowledge and understanding and awareness of ourselves. And why? We may ask, you may ask. Beautiful one, angel. It is not because we are here to combat and fight darkness. Just like our own darkness is not to be fought. But it is actually because we are here to unify reality through light. Every time you bring light, the greater perspective, the light that comes with greater perspective, for example, every time you bring more light or more kindness and love, through the kind of love that comes with understanding it was all for a reason. It was all a soul exploration. Nothing really happened to you. Your soul has been whole and complete the whole time. Every time that we do that, we step into even more abundance within ourselves. We step into even more light and love within ourselves. And through the things we touch, the people we make love to, the children with birth, our relatives, family, bloodlines, the places where you live, the sacred sites where you go, and your presence here on earth, we are creating the most artful reconfiguration of energy and regridding of light in the planet and for the planet and for humanity. We are doing it. And I wrote a note here, but let me see. Yeah. I write things and then my letter is like I can't even read what I wrote, but that's my message. My message is like we're not here to fight the darkness. We are here to unify that can be perceived as our darkness, which in actuality is just lower light, lower amount of light stuff, unified through the light. Thank you for listening to my story. When I turned into the gifts then of what I received and the gift of all of this, it was the 2 gifts I mentioned and then this 3rd gift. The gift of having been able to perform this level of grid work for myself, for my people, for humanity, for these lands. These are extraordinary times of evolution and ascension. Rest assured that whatever it is that you are going through within your mission relate to becoming the version of you that can succeed at it at a human level, and also that the codes that you are working on and the grids that those initiations make you work on are an even greater mission for you, for me, for all of us, for our humanity, and our beautiful mother, Ascended Gaia. If you enjoyed this, if something deep landed for you, my inbox is always open. You can send me a message, even an audio. Maybe don't make it a 14-minute audio or an 8-minute. I love you so much and have the most beautiful day ever.